This is a guy with so much charisma who looks like a Greek god, and we're supposed to believe that he doesn't know how to have a conversation with a woman? It makes no sense at all. A long time ago, I raised a son to know his De Niro from his Pacino.
Now we're turning our arguments into content. This is I Am Your Father, where Gen X meets Gen Z in vault number 713.
Sounds like a good vault.
Yeah, it's a good vault.
I'm Graham.
I am Braden, the son.
That's right. I'm the father. We've got a great main topic for you lined up. We are going to talk a little about the new Heist film starring Chris Hemsworth, Crime 101, as well as round that out with the meat and potatoes will be a nice heist film draft.
Yes.
We like heist films.
I love heist films.
Yeah, me too.
Looking through all the heist films that I've enjoyed, I tend to have heist films rated very highly, but I've only seen like 12 to 15. Which I mean, I guess relatively is a lot to some people, but I would say it's not one of my most watched genres, even though I would consider it one of my favorites. I just thought that was kind of interesting.
I did a little research in preparation for this, and I was looking at some Letterboxd lists and things like that. And it's crazy how many heist films are. Just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them. A lot of them foreign films, a lot of Italian heist films and things like that. But we're going to focus on our 10 favorite, and we're going to draft those today for you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Good.
Beforehand, I think we're going to be diving a little further into Crime 101. I think we both got a chance to see that. Gonna dive a little deeper into that before we do our overall heist film draft. But even before that, we have some other fun topics, don't we?
We do. We're going to do a 10 and 20.
Yeah, except with only like 4 or 5 topics.
Well, we'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes. Are you going to throw out extra topics as we go?
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
Okay, all right.
Keep you on your toes, you know?
Okay.
All right. Topic number 1. In the 10 and 20, the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer has dropped. The full trailer this time has dropped. Braden, did you have any initial visceral reactions one way or another to this trailer?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say that I'm mixed on it. The actual trailer itself, I thought was better. I enjoyed it more. It got me more excited for this movie. I haven't been like on the edge of my seat waiting for it. This definitely built my anticipation a little bit. But I am a little mixed on it because I personally was going to see this movie regardless, and I feel like this trailer showed a lot that I would have probably liked to have seen initially. So I wish that the first trailer was enough to get me really excited and that I didn't need this trailer to kind of really sell me, because now I feel like they had to give me more than I would have initially hoped to receive beforehand. But I think the trailer definitely looked a lot better, and I think the visuals look fun. It doesn't look super captured on the volume, in my opinion. I thought it looked a little better than that. How about you?
I couldn't disagree with you more. I felt like it looked cheap and cheesy to pull an old phrase from your childhood about another movie. It made me less interested. I hated this trailer. I got to be honest. I didn't like any part of it. There was so much of this that just annoyed me. And it really solidified my concern that this story is best told in a short format, bounty of the week kind of style, and this full movie version is just not gonna work. I'm really concerned that it's not gonna work. It's the first Star Wars film we've had in years, and I think it's going to be bad.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely am slightly concerned that you might be right. I wouldn't say that this trailer made me go, oh yeah, this is going to be a great movie. It just definitely built my anticipation for it. But I do tend to agree with you. I believe that this story works better in the format we've already received it in. So I am a little nervous. And with it being the first Star Wars movie we've gotten in like 7 years, I think there's a lot of weight on its shoulders. I think it needs to perform well, and I'm not sure that it will. So it could be bad news for Star Wars movies in theaters moving forward.
I'm maybe most concerned that it's going to be bad and perform well, because that's just going to mean we're going to get some more bad ones instead of some good ones.
Yep, that could be the case also. But
I mean, listen, this is the last big project under Kathleen Kennedy, right? As the head of Disney Studio, or sorry, not the head of Disney, as the head of Lucasfilm,
right?
So maybe this won't really be the right litmus test to see what we get out of Filoni now in charge. We also have a new CEO of Disney, so there's a lot of changes in terms of leadership that could affect the future of this franchise. But right now, highly concerned.
But that being said, this movie just oozes Filoni all over the place. I mean, half of the characters that showed up in the trailer are Filoni characters. So
no, I mean, I'm not suggesting he wasn't involved. I know he's highly involved, but it also still his involvement would have been managed through the lens of Kathleen Kennedy's leadership.
Gotcha. Okay, well, topic number 2. I got to see a movie this week. I suggested you watched this movie over Crime 101. You chose Crime 101. I saw Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, or as they say it in the movie, they kind of chanted, they're like, good luck, have fun, don't die. I thought it was a blast, honestly. I think you are really going to enjoy this film. And I'm not going to jump into any spoilers, but just quick general thoughts. Sam Rockwell doing what Sam Rockwell does, just really eating everything up. He's really stealing the show here.
Beautifully unhinged.
Yep, beautifully unhinged. Absolutely wonderful, super witty, hilarious. It's one of the funnier movies I've seen in a long time. But that's not to say that it doesn't go overboard a lot. There are several points in this film where I'm just sitting there, this is way too much. And so I'm not even kidding you. As I'm watching this movie, at one point I'm like, this is a 10. At another point, I'm like, okay, this is a 6 out of 10, maybe. Like it fluctuates a lot. So I landed in the middle on a 4 out of 5 or an 8 out of 10, however you prefer. But I think you're really gonna like it. I think it is a really good dark comedy that is a little too self-indulgent sometimes. But it also has some pretty interesting commentary. So I loved it. For me, it's maybe won the year in the box office so far. I'd put it up there with The Bone Temple as my 2 favorites of the year so far.
Okay.
And
high praise.
You need to get on it soon.
All right. Well, a little too self-indulgent. I mean, you're basically describing me right now, so I'll probably enjoy it. I did really want to see it. It just came down to timing between that and 101. I was right up until the end. I was talking to Marissa the whole time. I was like, which one should I see? Which one should I see? Which one should I see? And then it came down to like, okay, well, there's, it's better if I go to the earlier show, which there's like 30-minute difference. So that's how Crime 101 won.
I know for a fact, especially now seeing your review for Crime 101, which we'll dive into later, I know for a fact you will enjoy Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die quite a bit more.
All right. Fair enough. All right. Topic number 3. Netflix purchase of Warner Brothers is not done by any stretch. In fact, things may be changing again in this saga. Braden, what are your thoughts right now on Netflix having to step aside for a moment to allow Warner Brothers to give Paramount one more shot?
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like our fate was sealed, and now it seems like maybe, although still not the best idea ever, it seems like there might be a little bit of light at the end of this tunnel, not Netflix. And so Paramount coming back with another offer, a bigger offer, and Warner Brothers entertaining this idea. I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to depend on where it lands. But right now, I'd say this is good news because I would rather see this happen than Netflix absorb Warner Brothers personally. So there's any high-level thoughts I had are pretty much the same. We've already talked about it in the past, but just basically I'd say as of right now, I think this is a good thing.
I'm not sure I know which is the better move or the lesser of two evils in this case. It seems like the Netflix proposal will mean that more jobs in Hollywood are protected rather than the Paramount deal. A big part of the Paramount deal hinges on synergies that really equal word laying people off across the board to save money. That's concerning to me. But obviously Netflix does not have a strong reputation for supporting theatrical releases, and that's something that means a lot to us as well as to the filmmakers. I'm not sure the filmmakers feel like one is better than the other. I think they're both concerned. They may be leaning more toward the Paramount side, but right now it seems like just to get to the nitty gritty of this, I think starting Monday, so by the time this is released, it'll have been 5 days since it was reopened. Paramount has 1 week to deliver their best and final offer, and it's like the third best and final offer that they've given, but they're going to have to prove that. I'm hearing they're going to, in all likelihood, they're going to have to come up at least $3 a share to maybe put it outside of the comfort range of the Netflix investors. We'll see what happens if they go up that high.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious. This is super interesting stuff, and
yeah.
At the end of the day, I just want whoever's in control of Warner Brothers, who owns the rights to all of these franchises and properties that I really love, to do what's best for those. So, and like you said, I guess I honestly can't predict which outcome would be better in that sense. So, it'll be tough. Honestly, it's just gonna be what it is.
Yeah. All right, you got the next topic?
Yeah, topic number 4. We're moving on to some Spider-Man news, specifically Spider-Man Noir. We got a new trailer, technically 2, one in black and white, one in color. Same exact trailer, though. And I just want to know your thoughts on this. You are on record saying you are somewhat optimistic for this project. You thought it was kind of wacky and could just maybe work. I'm curious if this reinforced that belief you have.
I'm not sure it did, to be honest. It's like, it's Nick Cage, and it's like we have to, watching him, I'm like, oh man, yeah, not only is this Madman Nick Cage, but it's old Madman Nick Cage. And I was not feeling, I'll tell you what, black and white's helpful. I have a feeling I'm going to be watching it in black and white.
You think so?
I feel like it's going to make it a little more palatable.
Yeah.
It does look cool. There's aspects of it that look really cool. I'm voting for him to wear the mask a lot. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure we're going to see a lot of Nick Cage on screen. But no, I'm kind of exactly where I was, where sure, the trailer looked interesting to me, but it didn't make me more excited or think that it was going to be better than I had previously thought. I think it's going to be ridiculous. It might just be fun. Like, it really might be a good time. But I'm not expecting, anything near some of the other Spider-Man projects we've been getting lately. That's for sure.
The most I've enjoyed Nick Cage in a long time was in the first Spider-Verse, where you basically hired Nick Cage and then you hit him, and that's not what's going to happen here. So I we'll see. But yeah, we'll see.
There's also the fact that he's just so old now. Like, it's going to be really hard for me to buy however old this man is as Spider-Man.
Right. As a voiceover performance,
it doesn't matter.
It works. Yeah. But we'll see if it happens, if it works with live action. Honestly, I kind of wish that this was animation. I wish that they had released this as a fully animated film.
Absolutely. I'd agree.
Yeah.
I would 100% agree with that. And that's why it worked the first time. But you just said that. But some other Spider-Man news, just for you. I don't know if you saw, but there's been a lot of questions around when are we finally getting this Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer. Seems like we're not that far out from this movie, and we have nothing other than, the leaked photo sets, or not even leaked necessarily, but set photos, not photo sets, but just all the photos from the set of the movie, and specifically one scene that they're filming. It seems, being rumored, you know how that goes, but it's being rumored that we're not getting this trailer until next month, which is still pretty close to the movie coming out for Marvel's standards. But today, at time of recording, it was today or yesterday, I'm trying to remember. Sorry, a little fuzzy. But we got the official synopsis for the movie. You want me to read it to you real quick?
Yeah, let's read it for the listeners.
Okay. It is as follows. 4 years have gone by since we last caught up with our friendly neighborhood hero. Peter Parker is no more, but Spider-Man is at the top of his game, keeping New York City safe. Things are going well for our anonymous hero until an unusual trail of crimes pulls him into a web of mystery larger than he's ever faced before. In order to take on what's ahead, Spider-Man not only needs to be at the top of his physical and mental game, but he must also be prepared to face the repercussions of his past.
Yeah, I mean, so much there to dive into.
I was going to say, people are making a huge deal out of this, and this basically what this told me is, Spider-Man's in this movie. He's been Spider-Man for a little while, and things might happen to him. And it's really generic. Just give us nothing.
Ensues.
Didn't hint at a villain. Didn't hint at anybody's involvement. Nothing. It just, all this did was tell us this takes place 4 years after the last one, which is actually kind of a question people were interested in, because people thought we were going to maybe get to see, our college arc Peter Parker, and it seems like we probably won't. So
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm kind of glad that I still don't know. You said earlier that this is late. The trailer release is going to be late, especially for a Marvel film. But you know what? I really feel like Marvel has been spoon feeding us for far too long now, and I like the idea of coming into something with a lot less knowledge and being able to actually be surprised with what we're getting and have some reveals. And to be honest, in the last several years post Endgame, the Spider-Man No Way Home was one of the only films that really gave us any kind of surprises, even though it was largely speculated about Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire being part of that. But with everybody else, all the villains, all the Spider-Men, we got some surprises, and there was intrigue. We went into the theater not really knowing if we were going to get it or not. I'm hoping that continues to be the case here, but this synopsis is meaningless.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. It definitely seems like in the build-up to this movie that a lot more is confirmed than just speculated. At least it feels like. I remember leading up to No Way Home, it really just was, is it going to happen? Like, are these leaks true? Like, as I'm sitting in the theater, I'm truly just like, it's not going to happen. Like, I have to just be prepared for it to not happen. But I feel like leading up to this movie, like, we are pretty dang sure, like, and I'm pretty sure it's kind of confirmed that Punisher, Hulk, Sadie Sink, Yelena, like, we have this list of characters who are showing up in this movie, and it's not really being treated as speculation. It's just being treated as, oh yeah, this is happening. So yes, I'm glad that we don't have a trailer yet, and that they haven't really started to just show us all these characters, because I feel like we already know, like, not plot wise, but in terms of who's going to be in this, we know so much already.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we don't have to wait much longer than a month for I'm crossing my fingers, teaser. I don't want a full trailer, but we're going to get it anyway.
We're going to get a nice 2-minute and 45-second trailer.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, that's 5 topics.
5 topics.
It was really like a 5 and 10.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Maybe we should rebrand this thing.
I think it's like 5 and 15, but
fair enough.
Close.
I think we had we'll figure it out.
We'll just always add in whatever numbers we need.
Yeah. It's a moving target. Well, should we get into our main topic today?
Yes, Crime 101. Let's dive into it. I'm excited to talk about it. We don't have to spend too much time on it because I'm a little even more excited for our draft coming up after that. But break it down for me. I had a feeling I knew how you were going to feel about this movie. Confirm it for me.
Well, the funny thing is going in is that I was getting a lot of messages, both from people I know, including yourself, and from things I was seeing online, that this was going to be a good movie, that people were really liking what they were seeing.
Yeah.
And I did not like it. As I said in my review, I really think that Crime 101 lived up to its name, and it was kind of just entry level. I'm not saying I didn't enjoy watching it. There were times when I really did, but there were aspects of it that I just found completely unbelievable and on the boring side. And I just think that they could have done so much more. And I was pumped for this movie. As we said earlier, you love a good heist movie. I love a good heist movie. I really felt like what I was seeing from a teaser trailer perspective, that this was going to really kind of be paying homage to maybe some of the films we're going to talk about in the draft in a little bit. Right. And it unfortunately kind of just seemed like a cheap facsimile of, rather than something that was really building on or standing on the shoulder of giants in any way. I didn't get that. I mean, I can give you some specifics about what I didn't like, but I would say high level, didn't really like it that much.
Yeah, I would both agree and disagree. I think I enjoyed it a little more than you. I think Chris Hemsworth was giving a fun performance. It's fun seeing him play outside of the Thor archetype or outside of even a comedic role, which he's done a lot lately. So it was fun to kind of see him act. I thought Mark Ruffalo did what Mark Ruffalo does. He looked tired and dirty, and and in desperate need of a coffee while he's trying to solve crimes. And I mean, no complaints there. It's just it's the Mark Ruffalo special, honestly. I didn't find the movie boring. I really did not. I know it was a little slower, but I was engaged all the way throughout. My mind was never blown, but I was invested. I think the end of it didn't quite land for me the way I hoped that it would. The resolution of everything I found kind of disappointing and unrealistic. But I mean, I agree. I was very pumped for this movie. I thought the trailer looked really good. Everything about the movie was selling me beforehand. When I saw it, though, I was semi let down, but I did enjoy it. I really did have a good time. And I would probably watch it again to really solidify my thoughts on it. So even being willing to watch again, I think, is a certain level of how I'm feeling about it. And it wasn't so bad that I would never revisit.
Yeah. Well, I again disagree with you. I think the performances were some of the things that I liked the least about it. I mean,
oh wow,
yeah, Mark, like Ruffalo was doing Ruffalo things, but Ruffalo this was almost an identical but somehow less intriguing version of what we just saw him do in Task. It was identical. I mean, even the costume, like
in fairness,
his wardrobe was the same. Yeah, no. Well, you should see it. Like if as you watched this and you said, okay, I really liked Ruffalo in this. This was basically just like a watered down, lukewarm version of what he just did in Task, which was really good. But it was almost the identical character, but it had we had really less motivation, less backstory, fewer reasons to root for him than we did in Task. And Helmsworth gave to me what was not only one of the worst American accents I've heard in a really long time. He still cannot get this American accent done right, and it really bothers me. But I also think he was terribly miscast. I mean, this is a character who we're told over and over again is really bad with women and awkward and all that, and he's just this weird guy. And how am I supposed to believe that about Chris Helmsworth? How this is a guy with so much charisma who looks like a Greek god. And we're supposed to believe that he doesn't know how to have a conversation with a woman. It makes no sense at all. I had trouble with that. And then you mentioned the ending being somewhat unsatisfactory. I think the ending was really crap. I mean, just the way it finished up was not good at all. And it bugged me. It was like, I don't even know what we were meant to understand from that epilogue. He's like, he decides to give his car away. That's the big reveal. I don't get it. It just didn't work for me at all.
All right. Well, you know what you would have liked? Good luck, have fun, don't die.
Yeah. It's funny, as I have the IMDb page up right here on my other monitor for Crime 101, there's an advertisement right next to it that says, good luck, have fun, don't die. And I am kicking myself because, in the words of the Templar Knight from The Last Crusade, he chose poorly.
He chose poorly. You did.
Yeah.
You really did.
Yeah.
Well, do you think Crime 101 is going to crack our top 10 draft?
If it does, we are crap at this because it should not be in here. It should not be in here.
Oh man. Should we dive into it?
Yeah, let's dive into it. But real fast, just to finish Crime 101, you gave it what, 3.5 stars? I gave it a
3.5.
Yeah. And I gave it a 2.5. So entertaining, but not good from my perspective. And you said you wouldn't mind watching it again. I don't really anticipate that I would watch this movie again. I don't know that I have the time to watch it. I'm going to watch several of these other movies that we're about to talk about instead.
Yeah. I mean, every single one of the movies on this list will likely be a constant rewatch.
Yeah.
If we're being honest, this won't be. Crime 101 will not be a constant rewatch. Like I said, the rewatch will be me giving it another chance to see if my opinion on it changes or is just more confirmed. But again, I did not have a bad time. I just found it underwhelming overall.
Yeah. That's what
especially as a heist film.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's talk about some great heist films real quick. We debated back and forth for this draft about crime films versus heist films, and are they synonymous? And I was sort of making the argument that you eventually were like, yeah, okay, I get that heist films are really a subgenre of crime films, and that they're specific. I'll also take this a step further. I think there's a really important component to a heist film, and that is that at least one of your protagonists is the heister. it's not really a heist film if you're not on some level rooting for the antagonist, but for the villain, right?
Right.
And so I think that's kind of what makes heist heist subgenre of crime.
What is a movie where a heist happens, or where you're rooting for the bank?
Well, not necessarily the bank, but maybe the police, like the investigator, right? You could the detective is your hero, right?
Okay, I got
and you're following the detective, right? But whereas in a heist film, there's a certain level of interest and intrigue to the actual process of the crime, to the point where you are rooting for that person. It's so I'm sure I could try and come up with a couple, and maybe you'll post some and I'll say I personally don't think that's a heist film because of this reason. But for me anyway, that's maybe the biggest criteria for which I selected, is that there's an aspect of the individual doing the heist, to me, is the hero. Now, they don't have to be the only hero. I could be rooting for both sides, but it can't be like a true antagonist. There's got to be some protagonist level aura there with the heister.
Okay. All right. Well, you and I, I absolutely agree with that. I think that makes total sense. And so you and I are going to go back and forth, drafting to try to come up with the best list of 5 each. Mm-hmm. And then we can compare at the end. Do you want to go first, or should I go first?
So this is your turn to go first. In the zombie draft, I went first, so you're up first this time, if you're okay with that.
Yeah,
going back and forth. I double checked. I did my math. So you're up first.
Okay, yeah. For me, I think it kind of comes down to 2. Like, I think there are 2 definitive heist films, in my mind at least,
that are your creme de la creme.
Actually, I will even edit what I just said. For me, there's an obvious choice.
Okay.
I think, generally speaking, this other one definitely is revered. So, right off the bat, my favorite heist film is exactly what I'm going to be taking in the number 1 slot, and that's just going to be Ocean's 11. For me, this is exactly what I want in a heist film. I know there are some darker, grittier versions that we will definitely get into, but I really love the levity of Ocean's 11. I love the overall aesthetic and vibe, obviously, but it's just a good time. The music is always getting you pumped up, not in an epic way, but just in a fun way. Like, it's constantly, there's constant banter, there's constant back and forth, constant humor. Are they going to do it? What do we even know? Are we in on it? Usually the answer is no. And I think obviously it has an incredible ensemble cast. I don't think there's really anybody in the 11 that don't deserve to be in the 11. I think they all steal every one of their own scenes. And for me, Ocean's 11 is the heist film that I could turn on at any given time and enjoy myself. Extremely rewatchable. Extremely.
Yeah, really good choice. Right in there, right in the pocket with my definition, right? We are rooting for the guys who are pulling off the caper.
Right.
In fact, in this case, we are fully rooting against the guy they're stealing from.
Right.
Like, right? Our heroes are the robbers.
Yeah.
And the cops are the villains in this one. Pure just charisma oozing out this movie from every corner.
We have an all-time dynamic between Clooney and Pitt. Like, one of the greatest on-screen duos, truly.
Yeah. And then we're just gonna just to be self-indulgent, we're just gonna throw a little Damon in there, just because. Yeah. And then everybody else, right? Cheadle and everybody is great. I mean, it's definitely that. And just to be clear, well, obviously we're talking about the 2001 remake, not the Frank Sinatra original.
Right.
Have you seen the Frank Sinatra original?
I actually have not.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's nowhere near as good. I mean, and partially because a lot of the, it's all Frank's buddies, most of whom are not particularly good at acting. So, so the Soderbergh remake really ups the ante in terms of the ensemble. So, I mean, I think it's fair to say this one sort of redefines the modern heist movie in a way, and it's definitely a good first choice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not 100% that it would have been your first choice, but I'd be surprised if it wasn't one of your first 2.
Yeah. Well, it can't be one of my first 2 now because you've taken it.
That's correct.
And maybe I'm just going to keep the answer to that question to myself for now.
Okay.
As we go through. So
all right.
So my turn now.
It is your turn now. You get 2 and 3.
All right. All right. I get 2 and 3. I guess I'm going to reveal then that Ocean's 11 was not in my top 2 because I really feel like my 2 and 3 are super easy choices for me.
Okay.
And so I am going to start off in the 2 slot. I am going to take The Usual Suspects. I think to me, this is sort of the gold standard of like twist driven storytelling. Everything after it owes it money for sure. And listen, this is 100% me needing to separate the art from the artist. So Kevin Spacey and Bryan Singer aside, the ensemble is absolutely lethal, and McQuarrie's script is basically magic. He dares you to keep up with it, and it certainly acts as a really remarkable introduction to somebody who's ultimately ends up, becoming one of the most successful producers and writers over the last 25 years or so. So, that most of these movies have this great sort of iconic moment. That lineup scene in The Usual Suspects is absolutely iconic. And then I think it turns that sort of non-linear crime storytelling into a mainstream version of the genre, and I absolutely love it. So I think, to me, if this isn't top 10 on our list, then we're not serious people here. No one should take us seriously.
Of course not. This would have been my number 2, honestly.
Yeah. Okay.
2 or 3. I think it is an extremely, at least with my generation, underrated movie. Just not very well known. I think, obviously, the number one rule about a movie with a twist is you don't say that it has a twist, but this is an old movie. This movie ends with a twist, and it's a damn good twist. I think it's an all-time. So, and especially an all-time final line for a movie. Yeah. So, I mean, if you're not pumped by the end of this movie, turn it on again because you missed something.
Yeah. I mean, I think this movie has one glaring flaw, and that is that Benicio's not in more of it. Yeah, he is an absolute scene stealer in this movie, and I had seen him in other things, but he had never stood out to me really. This was absolutely like, oh yeah, who is this guy? And he has not let us down since. So I think The Usual Suspects is my choice for our number 2 slot.
Before you move on, I will say I do have a bit of a nitpick with it though.
Okay.
This tends to be the case in movies with a reveal. It's rare for a movie to be above this, but I especially noticed when watching The Usual Suspects most recently, it cheats on the reveal. It really does. I really prefer when the reveal happens and you think about all the ways it was setting it up, and then you think about if everything lines up. Like, not only were they telling me, but was what I was seeing honest? And this movie is completely dishonest leading up to the reveal. It really manipulates a lot of things to make them seem other than what the reveal is later on. So I will say, although I think it's a near perfect movie, the fact that it cheats so much does bring it down a little bit for me.
But I think that's part of what you have to come to grips with is this concept of the unreliable narrator. And can you have a more unreliable narrator than Verbal Kint in this case, right? I mean, I get it. He's lying to the police the entire time. He's lying to everyone else, all the other suspects, and he's lying to us as the audience. And I think that that's part of what works for me. I don't need it to be perfect. I can understand now. And I guess for me, what makes it not cheating is that throughout the film, there are consistent hints that he is lying. So we don't have to believe that everything that we see is really happening because he's telling us that he's lying, and we need to recognize part of that. Part of the twist is that we have been lied to.
Okay, fair enough. I can accept that. I can.
All right.
How about 3?
For number 3, I am going to take one of my favorite heist films of all time. I'm going to take Michael Mann's Heat.
Yep.
In the 3rd slot. I think this is the heist movie, like full stop for me. I mean, I understand. I think Usual Suspects gets a step up because of the twists. This is not a twist movie. Heat is not a twist movie. Heat takes the concept of heist and it turns it into opera. It is so beautifully orchestrated throughout. There are so many characters coming in and out, and they're all on a collision course, and it comes together in such a satisfactory way. That downtown shootout scene, by the way, it's game changing. Like, no one's been able to do it as good or before or since. Pacino and De Niro at the dinner in the diner. This is Mount Rushmore kind of cinema to me, and I know that these days it's probably hard to imagine, but them joining forces and sharing the screen for the first time in that time in the 90s was such a big effing deal. Like if you had been, I was your age or a little roughly your age when this came out, maybe a little younger, but the idea that this was going to happen, I mean, everybody that I knew was just freaking out. It was all we could talk about. De Niro, Pacino together, De Niro, Pacino together. We had to go watch this movie. That was a big deal. Anyway, I mean, it's about the professionalism, both on the side of the crime and on the side of the police, and you go back and forth, not sure whose side you're on and who you're rooting for. So I kind of just think that every modern crime film is either chasing this or avoiding it. And to go back to Crime 101, that film somehow managed to do both. I mean, it couldn't figure out either side of this. But so I think Heat is a top tier heist movie and could have easily been number one on this list.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. That was the one I was referring to that I knew deserved to be up there. I personally am not, I've only seen it once. And as I generally am with, the greatest movies of all time, not as hot on it as everybody else. But I really do want to revisit this one. Maybe I can do it this week. But because I know that there's a lot there. And I know that it is such a clear influence on the heist genre moving forward. So I definitely intend to do that. And I think it's an obvious pick. Had it not been in our top three, I think we would have caught a lot of heat.
Yeah,
no,
for sure.
No pun intended.
No pun intended.
No pun intended.
Yeah. Well, you definitely need to get back and revisit it because you know that they're working on the sequel.
Right.
Yeah. So
maybe I'll wait until then, honestly.
Yeah. And I think we know only for sure that Adam Driver is in the part, but we don't know everybody else yet. And so Driver's playing young De Niro, I believe.
Yeah, and we've also heard DiCaprio and Austin Butler.
There's been a lot of names thrown around, yeah. But I think this is really, I hope it's good. I'm really crossing my fingers that a sequel would be good, but
yeah, who knows?
All right, it is. It's your turn now. We're on to 4. You get picks 4 and 5.
Yes, I do. I got to be smart here. I'm really trying to decide what exactly I'd like to do. Trying to balance what you're going to take versus what I want. One or two of mine I think might be safe, but I can't know for sure, so I'm a little nervous. Okay. In 4, I have settled on the fact that I am going to be taking The Town. In a lot of ways it's similar to Heat, or clearly inspired by Heat. For me, this almost feels like my generation's Heat in a funny way. Yeah, no, legitimately. I remember the first time you ever showed me this movie. I actually vividly remember what I was doing. I was assembling bar stools or chairs for you, or maybe they were patio chairs.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there. It took me like 6 hours, and I watched a few movies, and this was one of them. And I was like, that movie was so cool.
Those patio chairs were infuriating, though. Those patio chairs. Oh.
Ben Affleck and Jeremy Renner are just magnetic in this movie. I absolutely love them. Jeremy Renner's performance, especially, I think is super fun. I think the twists and turns, the ups and downs in this movie are really great. And I think I already said it. This is my Heat in a lot of ways. So this one had to be on my list. I wasn't sure if you were going to grab it. I know you like this movie quite a bit too. So I was nervous that you might grab it at some point, but I don't know if you're as hot on it as I am.
High on my list. It's probably my favorite Affleck performance and film. Yeah, it's high up on my list. I think comparing it to Heat makes a lot of sense. I think it's Heat, but somehow a little meaner and a little more emotional at the same time. Like, there's a subtle pain that's layering over Heat and with The Town. It's somehow it's like Heat, but just like I said, just somehow more emotional.
Yeah, definitely. So that's what I'm going to take there. My next one, it starts to get a little harder. Again.
Oh, really? I feel like there was one that I really thought you were going to take already, and you haven't yet.
Would you take it?
It's on my list. I'm telling you. Like, of course. Yeah, I'm taking it.
Shit, now you're making me nervous. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
trying to get in your head.
I know, and you're doing it. You're doing it. You're literally doing it. So here's where I'm at. How many more choices do I have overall? 3?
Let's see. You have 3 total choices.
3.
Yes. You have 5, then you gotta wait a little bit for 8 and 9.
There's exactly 3 that I want. And I just know that at most I'm getting 2 of them. So I'm struggling here. All right, here's what I'm going to do. Just because I can't not get this movie. I've talked about it on the pod before as one of my favorite movies. I think I spoke extensively on it in our rewatchables list. I have to take Baby Driver. This movie was in a lot of ways formative to the movies that I enjoy today. And I think, what can I say about this movie that I already haven't said? I love the use of music all the way throughout. I really love our lead performances and then our co-leads and our ensemble cast. Again, let's separate Kevin Spacey. Really great performance, really fun performance.
Our second Spacey film,
I love this movie. I really do.
Yeah.
And I just can't risk you taking it, so I have to take it now. I wasn't sure if you were going to. I think there's some other ones you definitely want over this one, but I just can't take the risk. It's a great heist film. This is a heist film where you are truly rooting for our protagonist, but you don't know if you're rooting for him to be successful in the heist. You're just rooting for him to be okay, to like get what he wants. You're rooting for him to get out. More so than you're rooting for the heist itself, which I think is a little more complex than some of these. Oftentimes it's, get the score and then get out. Like getting out is usually a part of the heist films, but it's after the one big hit. There's not as much of the I need one more score to get out in this movie. There is a little bit, but it's more so like, okay, I got to take what I have now and leave before, things get really bad. And so I think that's really interesting. It's an interesting dynamic. So I got to take Baby Driver.
Yeah. Great choice. I had more or less written off the fact that I wasn't going to get this one. I had a feeling. I thought you'd take it higher. I don't know if you noticed on our little shared document that I typed it in before you said it. I absolutely knew you were taking this film.
I did not notice.
Yeah.
Well, so here's my question. If I didn't take it right now, would you have taken it?
I might have taken it just to really mess with your list. I would have, if you hadn't taken it, I would have taken it at 7. I would have squeezed in one I liked better at 6. But I listen, I wouldn't have been mad that it was on my list. I like this movie a lot.
No, it's really good.
This is the one film on our list that is essentially going to be like choreographed heist. Like this is the rock and roll heist film in so many ways, and it's unique in that way. It's Edgar Wright paying homage to these films, but adding his own personal like rock and roll flair to this, and I think it's fantastic. It's kinetic, it's exciting, it's emotional. It's loaded with all the quote unquote usual suspects, right? You've got this cast of this rogues gallery of craziness that he's dealing with, and it's a lot of fun. I think it makes perfect sense to me that you would want this. I want it too, and I'm glad it's on our list. I think our list, it's going to be varied from different time periods and eras.
Definitely.
And this is a good one for the list.
Well, whenever I describe a movie as having sauce, this is somewhat the blueprint. Like, if there was ever sauce all over a movie, it's this one.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Oh, man. So I'm down to my last 2 picks now.
No.
Right? No, I have 3.
You have 3 left overall.
I have 3 left.
2 right now.
Okay. All right.
6 and 7.
All right. Ooh, it's getting tough because there's part of me that really wants to like stay true to my generational love of 90s independent cinema, and there's part of me that wants to go back and sort of thank my father for introducing me to some really great classics in there, because there's some amazing stuff that I don't even know if you've had a chance to see or not. So I'm definitely going to not get. We're not going to get some great films on this list.
Well, definitely not.
So I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to split the difference. I'm going to go 1 and 1 here.
Okay.
So my next film is going to be Reservoir Dogs. Again, another one we've talked about a lot on the podcast, but this is the heist movie where we don't see the heist,
right.
And it's the aftermath. It's what happens after the getaway, and it's crazy, right? I mean, so this is Tarantino, he's not just bursting onto the scene, right? This one, he's blowing the bloody doors off and basically telling Hollywood, "Hold my beer." This is him really coming in and just changing everything, right?
Yeah.
This is his directorial debut, and it's absolutely masterful. And I don't know if you know, I know that, yes, he borrows from Lamb's City on Fire throughout, and he has gotten a lot of people like trying to discount this film over the years because of that. But you know what? I don't think there's anything new under the sun, as Shakespeare said, and I kind of think he does it better, to be honest. No shade to City on Fire, but anyway, love this movie. We've talked about it in some other episodes. We talked about Tarantino and others, but Reservoir Dogs for me, and rewatchable movies, things like that. So this movie's come up a bunch because it's one of my all-time faves. So I'm happy to add Reservoir Dogs to our list and to get Tarantino represented.
Yeah, there's no surprise there from me. I'd agree with you. It's an amazing film, and this was one of the two that I knew you were going to take right now. So I bet I'm going to be right on the next one too, and those were it wasn't in my three that I was hoping for because I just knew I wasn't going to get it unless I took it, and I wanted Baby Driver and one other film over it, so it wasn't going to happen. Okay. But I knew for sure it'd be on your list.
Okay, fair enough.
I know what your next one is too.
I think you don't, honestly, because I ought to. Well, I do have 10. I do have 10 to go for something that I don't think you've seen, like from the 70s. So maybe I'll hold off there. But even then, even if I stick to something more contemporary, there's some tough choices here. But I think I know what I'm going to take now. I'm going to go with Guy Ritchie's directorial debut, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. This is him kicking down the door in a lot of ways. Hyper stylized, rapid fire, Cockney slang dialogue throughout. This I think influenced another generation of filmmakers after this. I think that it's the criminal underground as a playground. Underworld as a playground, and he's having so much fun, and the actors are having so much fun, and the story is so cool. It really, I think, kind of revitalized this whole British crime sexy energy that we get from so many other films, and I think without this you don't get Snatch. Without this you don't get The Gentleman, period. And this might be an unpopular opinion, but I'm not sure that Ritchie's ever been better
than his debut.
Yes, absolutely. I know that there are going to be people who put Snatch up there. I know that you're going to put The Gentleman up there. Sherlock. I mean, he's made other good movies. I think this is still my favorite.
Yeah, fair enough. I actually have not seen this one. I need to watch it. And I've been debating. You're done for now, right? Yeah, you are. I've been debating whether I'm taking Snatch or not. I thought you might take Snatch. So I'm surprised. Well, I guess I can't be too surprised because I haven't seen it. But I thought for sure you were going to take Snatch. Now I'm trying to decide if I want to do that, if we're going to have two Guy Ritchie films on the list overall.
I'll tell you what I was thinking. I was thinking if I didn't take Lock, Stock, you would take Snatch, and then I would not want to take Lock, Stock because I'd want us to have some other things to talk about. So I decided to sneak it in, and not because I thought you were going to take it, but because I wanted to, in some ways, kind of throw a block out there. But take what you want, but that was kind of my thinking there.
I don't know that it was so much a block as it may have been you just narrowing me down to the two that I was already trying to decide between. I had three left. Well, I have plenty more left, but I have three that I would have been really happy with.
Okay, so before you say what your next one is, though, you mentioned Snatch being high on the list. I was under the impression that you preferred The Gentleman over Snatch. Am I wrong about that?
No, I do.
Okay. Yeah.
Would you consider The Gentleman a heist film? It has heist energy, but I wouldn't. I don't know that I would qualify it.
That's a good point. You're right. It's not. You're right.
Well, and this actually brings up
one of the reasons why it's not on my list.
This brings up an interesting point, though, and I think that Guy Ritchie, I think that might be a good way to describe his filmmaking. Is his editing style, especially, oftentimes has heist energy, like the energy you're getting from these films like Ocean 11 or the scenes as we're cutting back and forth between the plan and it actually being executed. Like, this is how Guy Ritchie makes his movies. So yes, The Gentleman absolutely feels like a heist film without a heist ever really taking place, which is
true.
Which is interesting.
That's true. It's a good point. All right.
I get 2 in a row. I feel pretty good about these. We'll have to run over some honorable mentions at the end for sure.
Absolutely.
There's plenty of good ones. I think right now what I'm going to do... Okay. In my 4th pick, what pick is this overall? Sorry, I'm looking at a different document.
It's number 8. It's number 8.
Okay, I'm going to take Spike Lee's Inside Man. I think this is a early perfect capturing of the early 2000s vibe in a way that a lot of people, especially today, are like hunting for. It's a vibe that's resurfacing in a lot of ways and becoming mainstream again. I think this is a perfect film to watch if you're looking for something like that. I think we have some obviously really great performances from Denzel, Jodie Foster, and then who's
Christopher Plummer.
Yep. Who's our thief?
Oh, Clive Owen.
Clive Owen, yes. I think just really great performances. I don't think this is the best heist film ever made. I think there are a few moments for me where it falls just a little bit flat, but overall I think it's really intelligent. And I think this is a good example that you mentioned earlier where we are oftentimes following the police force through this movie and somewhat rooting for them, but oftentimes we intercut to our thieves, to our robbers, and begin to root for them in other ways too. Not necessarily because we like these people and we want them to get away with it, but because you have to admire the plan, like the genius behind what they're doing. So I love the back and forth there.
I think there's another element to that, though, and that is that you think you know at the start of the film who the good guys are and who the bad guys are. But throughout the course of the film, you realize that there's even badder guys, and that our criminals are actually inflicting some level of justice that we didn't see coming. And so it muddies the waters for us as viewers in terms of the morality of the situation. And that's one of the things that makes it so intriguing.
Yeah. I think it's really good. I think like any good heist film, it has your amazing montages. It has the plan that you just can't help but admire as it unfolds. It has, it has our good guys and our bad guys, or in quotation marks, butting heads, who's going to win, who's smarter. And it has at the end, the reveal. Did the plan work? Did we know the whole plan? And I think these are all really important elements to a good heist film. So I think at the end of the day, this is a really, really solid heist film.
Yeah, I agree. This literally almost came out of my mouth. I was when I decided to not go for a classic in my last pick, it was either Lock, Stock or Inside Man, and I went with Lock, Stock. So a really great choice. I think that this is Spike Lee paying homage in so many ways to these gritty heist and crime dramas of the 70s. And he does it in a way that somehow is delivering what was previously sort of underbelly type of films. He delivers it in an incredibly commercial way. It's also, this is going to be odd to say, I'm going to try and phrase this right. I think that Spike Lee has a strange reputation with white film goers, and this is because he's very political, and so I think that a lot of people who aren't paying attention to what he's really doing will just avoid his films. This is a film that I don't think they really avoided. I think this is a film that is digestible to a much larger audience, but still manages to be very Spike Lee, and I think it's great. And then of course, Washington is just having the most fun I think I feel like I've ever seen him, and he is having so much damn fun in this, and he's on peak charisma mode. Yeah,
you're absolutely correct. So I think it's a great pick. And
good job. Good pick.
I have one more. Yep. You've taken some pretty great choices away from me, but I'm not even a little bit upset about my last pick. I'm still very thrilled about it. I'm going to be taking Drive with Ryan Gosling.
Oh.
I don't know if this is on your list. This is absolutely a heist film. He's the getaway driver. Yeah. Similar to Baby Driver, we have a lot.
I was going to say.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the fact that
I mean, this is your second getaway driver film. Yeah. I almost said when you talk about the Baby Driver that one of the unique things about this movie is that, it comes from the perspective of the getaway driver, which is oftentimes, cannon fodder in so many other heist films, the first to die. But yeah, you've snagged another one.
unintentionally. I didn't even make this connection, but I think Ryan Gosling is giving one of my favorite performances of his, just very extremely muted and subtle and quiet in a way that he doesn't play super often, especially not super often lately. I feel like this was definitely Ryan Gosling.
This is different from Ken, you're suggesting?
Just a little bit different from Ken. Ken may have been inspired by his character in this movie. I'm not sure. That's not official, but I could presume. Yeah, no, I love this movie. I think it's really good. I haven't seen it in years, honestly. I need to get back to it. But one thing that I really remember about this movie, my first time ever watching it, is its use of violence. It's you could argue that it's a slow movie, that it's a slow burn for a lot of it. Mm-hmm. And I remember it had to have been within the last 30 to 45 minutes of the movie, the first time that somebody dies. And it's shocking. It is truly like, in a way that violence should make you feel, you like jump and you're like, holy crap, what just happened? Because
100%.
It creates this world where characters don't die. And I don't mean like a Marvel film where they're constantly in danger of death, but they just don't die because they're invulnerable. I mean, in a sense, like real life, like people aren't just dying left and right like they do in movies. It puts us in this world. And so then when somebody does die, when somebody is shot, it's like, holy crap. It's very jarring. And I found it extremely
funny you brought that up. Yeah. I remember that vividly as well. I think I remember like literally looking over to the person next to me and said, shit, like, whoa. And it fully does not glorify violence, which many heist films in some way do, or at least they seem desensitized to it. This film is not that at all. This film is high stakes, and it really makes you think. Yeah, there's nobody's getting shot 14 times and stabbed 15 times and still coming back to win the day. Like when people choose violence, I mean, it's serious in this movie. Yeah.
It also kind of started you go ahead.
I was just it's not for the casual viewer.
No.
For a lot of reasons, but partially because of that. Like, you if you're looking for something casual to watch, this is not the movie.
Or high octane. Like if you're looking for an action movie or your typical heist movie, this is not it.
Yeah.
It's much more character driven and slower than that.
Yeah. Yeah. It rewards a more intellectual viewing strategy.
And it definitely started this trend of what we call Ryan Gosling is literally me, where young men have just latched onto Ryan Gosling characters and be like, he's literally me. Like they make it their personality, which is hilarious. So like the guys with their driving gloves and their snake jacket and they're, nice and quiet, slowly just, having the ladies fall in love with them and so forth. It's funny. I really love this performance from Gosling, and I'm very happy that I was able to grab this. I didn't think you were going to grab it. I wasn't sure if it was going to be on your radar for this draft. But I'm glad I got it.
Yeah, epic jacket, by the way. Just
so
epic
cool.
Jacket.
So cool.
Like I need you to boop right there. I need it on the screen. That jacket is sick.
Amazing
so sick.
jacket.
You're right. Jacket. I wasn't gonna take it. It was on my honorable mention list though, and it's I'm perfectly fine with it being here because it's unique to all these other ones. In fact, I think the rest of our list, the only film that comes close to it in terms of sort of the subtle and quiet anger throughout the film is Heat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like everything else in so many other ways is over the top. Every other film we have here is over the top in its own way. And Drive and Heat both there's a subtlety to both of them that really make them work, I think.
They require you to be patient.
Yeah.
They really do.
They do. All right. Good final pick. It's down to me. So I get to cheat a little bit here. Because I'm going to take you on my process. I'm really down to 2 that I'm going to choose from, and I think I still have 6 left on my list that I for sure wanted to draft that falls outside of my honorable mention list because I had a separate honorable mention list. But I think I'm down to 2, and they're both films from the 70s. I'm not sure if you've seen either, but you should see both. I think the one I'm going to pass on will actually be Dog Day Afternoon from Pacino.
Okay.
Or starring Pacino. Sidney Lumet, Pacino, and just an absolute masterpiece. Right now, by the way, on Broadway, there is a stage adaptation of the Dog Day Afternoon film, starring Bernthal and what's his name? The guy from that's in The Bear, and the taller guy, Evan.
Oh, Baccarat or something.
Yeah. I really wish I was in New York to see that right now, but really good. But I'm gonna recommend that. Put it on my honorable mention, but I think I'm going to go with 1974's The Taking of Pelham 123.
Oh, I wanted that. Damn it!
You haven't seen it, right? This is going to be the second one I put on my list that you haven't seen.
Never even heard of it.
Yeah. So it was remade, interestingly enough, with Denzel Washington in the lead role. The remake's not bad, but the original is absolutely insane.
What's it called?
The Taking of Pelham 123. And try and guess about Pelham. Pelham is the name of a subway stop in New York, and it is a heist on a subway car.
Okay.
Where these guys, our heisters, take hostages on a subway car and ransom them for money, and or at least that's what we think. Anyway,
okay.
Really great film. Robert Shaw from Jaws, that you know from Jaws, is our lead criminal, okay. And then Walter Matthau is our cop, and they are playing a really great cat and mouse game. This is for sure the type of film that Inside Man is influenced by, in so many ways.
Okay.
So I think you should definitely check it out, and it is one of my all-time favorites. And I am ashamed that I haven't talked you into, or I haven't shown you this movie before. So
yeah, I'll definitely have to check it out.
Yeah. Hopefully, I'm going to go ahead and guess that a pretty decent percentage, if not 100%, but a pretty decent percentage of our audience has not seen this film. So that's why I wanted to wait until the last one. I want to sneak in something a little more classic and aspirational. So this is from 74, Taking a Pelham 123. You got to check it out.
Okay, sounds good. You want to do some honorable mentions?
Yeah, let's run through those real quick. For me, as I mentioned, Dog Day Afternoon with Pacino, a film that I gave you for homework that you mentioned on last week's episode, Charade, I consider to be a heist film, and a good one for honorable mention. Hell or High Water, Out of Sight, which is another one I think did I give you Out of Sight as homework too? I think I did.
You did.
Bottle Rocket, Wes Anderson's first film, believe it or not, is a heist movie. You could also say that Fantastic Mr. Fox is in some ways a heist movie. Then Kelly's Heroes, a World War II heist film. Let's see, Thomas Crown Affair, The Getaway. Oh, here's an interesting one. There was an early independent film that was kind of a contemporary of Reservoir Dogs called Killing Zoe. That's really great.
Okay.
I hesitated on a few that I felt like were kind of falling into like long con or con artist movies instead of heist films.
Right.
So like The Sting, for example, or Matchbook Men, or some others. But anyway, those are some of my honorables. Yeah,
those are good ones. I have a few as well.
Okay, hit me.
Not too many. You just mentioned a few of them. I'll throw out Good Time from the Safdie brothers. I think that's a pretty good one.
Yep.
Den of Thieves, I think, is a little lower quality, but a great time. Another one where we're following both parties. This almost feels blasphemous coming out of my mouth because I tend to be a hater of Michael Bay, but I actually personally enjoyed Ambulance.
Oh, you're going to say Ambulance.
Yeah.
I admittedly, I haven't watched it, so I can't talk trash, except I just don't like his movies.
It's trashy fun, honestly, which I think can sometimes work in this genre.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then also there's another movie called Collateral, Michael Mann. Again, I think that one only loosely fits into the heist genre, if at all. That's why it's on my honorable mentions list.
I'm gonna call that more crime drama because we're talking about a hitman, not a thief.
Well, there's one more honorable mention, Thief. So yeah, I think we didn't mention that one. We probably should have.
Yeah, that was third on my classics list. Another Michael Mann film.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
Why don't I recap everything, and I'll,
all right,
just for a nice little clip for our TikTok audience.
That's right.
Sounds good.
We need these movie posters flashing here.
Yes, absolutely. Alrighty. We drafted heist films. Right away, I took Ocean's 11, in my opinion, the definitive heist film. You followed it up with The Usual Suspects, and then Heat. If Heat wasn't in our top 3, nobody would take this list seriously.
That's super true.
Then I took The Town in 4, and 5, I took Baby Driver, another favorite of mine. You followed up with Reservoir Dogs, and then Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. I then took Inside Man, followed by Drive with Ryan Gosling. And you ended the list with The Taking of Pelham, 1, 2, 3. Some honorable mentions, just recommendations for you past that is going to be Dog Day Afternoon, Charade, Hell or High Water, Out of Sight, Bottle Rocket, Wait Until Dark, Killing Zoe, Good Time, Thief. There's plenty. So check out some of these heist films and let us know who had the best list.
Yeah. I mean, I think the moral of the story is make sure you have a good getaway driver.
Yep, definitely. Definitely. I think that is
awesome.
Fairly important.
Excellent list. All right. We are coming to a close with our episode here, but first we need to not cover up. What am I trying to say? We need to cover our homework.
Yes, we do.
Right? I know we did that whole episode of homework last week. Now we have homework. Now listen, if you're listening to the show at all regularly, or even for the first time, do some homework with us. Watch some of these films and give us some comments on what your thoughts are. You're going to hear from ours. Although we don't oftentimes post clips from our homework, but I think we should.
I can start keep saying that. If you follow along with
to the guy who's doing the clips.
Yeah. If you follow along with us, I wish I could tell you won't be disappointed. Sometimes you will be. I am oftentimes disappointed, as are you.
It happens.
But it happens. It's a fun little assignment. So follow along with us. Yeah. I should start off by saying I did something bad, and I did not complete my homework this week.
Oh no!
What happened? Sorry.
Ran out of time.
Yeah, I was waiting for a good chance to watch it with the wife, and then we were looking up. We weren't sure. We had a little bit of time, and then we decided if we weren't sure or not, and then it didn't happen. So didn't do homework this week, but I'll do it. I'll do whatever you assign me this week.
Well, that makes it a little anticlimactic, but okay, fair enough.
You got yours.
All right. Well,
I know you got a lot to say about yours.
I got mine. My homework done. Yeah, you gave me the movie Kill. Which I thought was fun, but also just okay at the same time. Like, this is an insanely violent movie, and obviously there's some basic people that you're rooting for and people you don't want to die and all this kind of stuff. But at the same time, it was like it's so claustrophobic that I didn't find it to be a feature. Instead, I found it to be a bug. I never once was like, oh yeah, the tight quarters of this is really what makes it done. It was like the entire movie was in those tight quarters, and I felt like what ultimately ended up happening is that I never really got my bearing. I was lost the whole time, especially since I didn't know either of the two lead actors, our lead hero, our lead villain. I didn't know either of them, but they look a little similar. They have the same facial hair. They have the same haircut. They're wearing basically the same clothes throughout.
That's hilarious.
And the first time that the villain showed up, I was like, oh, our hero, his hair's just a little bit longer, but he's cool. And it took me a minute to figure out I was looking at two different people. And there were times when the two of them were fighting. It might as well have been face off. It was a little nuts. So I guess ultimately I felt like the violence seemed a bit pointless to me. So I never really got the point. But there were some fun action sequences, no doubt. And I'm not mad that I watched it. It just it didn't really land. It didn't really land all that well for me ultimately.
Yeah, so you actually ended up rating this only half a star lower than me. So it's not like I enjoyed this movie so much more than you. In fact,
giving me 3-star homework.
I would argue that we enjoyed it the same amount, but I was just curious. I was wondering if there was a chance you might really like it. I wasn't sold on it. I didn't think it was a home run or anything like that, but I thought, you like The Raid, you like some other movies. I thought you might enjoy this one. But granted, the shtick in The Raid is much more effective and much better handled than, the shtick in Kill. So
yeah, in the Raid, our director uses, and cinematographer, they use the confines of the setting to their advantage in a really cool way. And I felt like ultimately that this one did not use it in as good of a way. Like every car looked exactly the same to me. I couldn't ever tell where I was. There's a whole lot that hinges on whether people are in the front or the back or going which direction they're going. And the whole time I felt like I needed a compass. I couldn't figure out which way I was facing.
Totally fair. Yeah. Okay, what do you have for me this week?
All right. I'm actually going to... I had a little pivot. I was going to give you a heist film that you hadn't seen, but I'm changing which heist film that you're going to watch because I don't think I realized you hadn't seen Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, so that's your homework for this week.
Alrighty. I look forward to that. It's obviously been on my list forever, so...
Good.
I will do that. I also am being a little cheeky with your homework this week, and I'm making you go to the theater...
Okay. No, I'm not mad about that, but
because you were I'm sure had I not assigned it, you would have gone and seen this movie this week anyways, but I just really need to make sure you do because I want to talk about it with you on or off podcast. It doesn't matter. I'm excited. I think it's going to be right up your alley. So
well, it sounds like we're going to talk about it on.
Yeah. I haven't said it yet. Sorry. It's Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. Go watch it this week so we can talk about it.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. That's two good long titled homework assignments that we've given each other.
Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
Yep. All right. Well, we've ranked and we've debated. We disagreed, though, not about who shot first. It's all just another day in the galaxy.
So whether you're Gen X, Gen Z, or somewhere lost in the timeline, please continue to listen, like, share, and subscribe to I Am Your Father.
Remember, until the next episode, remember that with great power comes a great second breakfast, but winter's also coming. So may the Force live long and prosper with you.
Whose car are we taking? It's going.